The authorities came round and asked people if they wanted an Anderson shelter put in their garden. And out of the 6 neighbours that we had, we was the only ones who decided to have an Anderson shelter in the garden, because the other neighbours didn't want to spoil their gardens. But the first time that the air raid warning sounded and we went in the Anderson shelter, it was during the day, and all these neighbours came and asked if they could come in our shelter, and we was packed in there like sardines. By this time I was in the senior school, what you call high school these days, and there was 5 houses next to the school, and one day when I went to school, all these houses had been bombed the night before, and I can remember thinking to myself, oh, why didn't he drop the bombs just a few seconds earlier or a few seconds later, whichever way he had to be travelling, and then they would have gone on the school and I wouldn't have had to have gone to school until it was all repaired. Right, at this school we used to have a cookery lesson every week, and one day we had to do macaroni cheese, and I've always hated macaroni cheese, and I thought, oh, if I take this home I'll have to eat it. So by this time the bomb site was still there, and it was all blocked off with hoardings so that people couldn't get in and children wouldn't go in and play amongst the rubble and everything. And I thought, as I passed this hoarding, I thought I would throw the macaroni cheese over the hoarding, and as I threw it over, I meant to hold on to the dish so that the stuff came out and went over the hoarding, but it slipped out of my hand and the dish went over as well. After a while, the Germans made a bomb called the V1, which got the nickname of the Doodlebug, and that was like a rocket that they used to send over from France. They were launched in France, and it didn't have a pilot or anything, it was just a bomb with a rocket on, used to come over, and you could hear it, and when it stopped, when the noise stopped, you knew it was going to come down. And the warning went once, and before we went out into the shelter we could hear this doodlebug coming over, and then we heard it stop, the noise stopped, and my dad said, get under the table. And we had a round table in the middle of the room, and there was 5 of us, and we just got under the table as far as we could, but we could only get our heads under, really. Anyway, we heard this bomb explode, and then we came out from under the table, and it hadn't been very loud, so it must have been quite a way away. And we came out from under the table, and then we started to laugh because one of us got the picture of 5 heads under a table, and he said he could imagine, it was my brother actually, said he could imagine what it looked like. There was 5 bottoms all sticking out round this round table because we could only get our heads underneath.